So hello friends, welcome to my new video. So today in this video I'm going to discuss with you about a very important topic that we all should know, that is to know about conjunctiva. Okay, so the term conjunctiva actually comes from the term conjoin, which means to join. Okay, so what it actually joining, it is actually joining the eyelid and eyeball. Okay, so it is a translucent mucous membrane that is covering the inner surface of the eyelid and also the anterior part of the eye and sclera, that is conjunctiva. So if I tell about the parts of conjunctiva, then conjunctiva is mainly having three parts: palpebral conjunctiva, bulbar conjunctiva and fornix. So palpebral conjunctiva having three parts: marginal, tarsal, orbital. So you can take a screenshot of this flow chart so that it will be easy for you to remember the part of conjunctiva properly. Now bulbar conjunctiva is having two parts: scleral and limbal. Fornix is having four parts: superior, inferior, lateral and medial. So we are going to discuss each and every part separately. Fine. So here you can see the red line area, this is the conjunctiva. So here this is called as palpebral conjunctiva and this is bulbar conjunctiva, and here this is the fornix, that is the joining between the palpebral and bulbar conjunctiva. Okay. So this palpebral conjunctiva is having three parts. This is the marginal conjunctiva, this is tarsal and this is orbital conjunctiva. So marginal conjunctiva is the joining of the eyelid and conjunctiva proper, that is marginal conjunctiva. And tarsal conjunctiva is the part of conjunctiva that is in front of the tarsal plate. So we can see the meibomian glands, that the vertically oriented glands easily through tarsal conjunctiva because it is very transparent. And orbital conjunctiva, so after marginal and tarsal, the orbital conjunctiva get thicker in the fornix area. Okay. So another thing is that here in marginal conjunctiva, the eyelid and the conjunctiva proper, when in the junction there is a formation of groove, and the groove is actually known as sulcus subtarsalis. Okay. Uh, so these are the dimension of conjunctiva. So it is actually the dimension from fornix area to limbus area. So here you can see that in the lateral side or temporal side, conjunctiva is having the longest dimension from limbus to fornix area, and in the nasal it is the shortest distance. Okay, in superior and inferior you can see 8 to 10 millimeter. Okay, so you can also take this picture as a screenshot to make you understand about this thing properly. Before going to this layer of conjunctiva, I would like to discuss more about conjunctiva. So here, after the palpebral conjunctiva, there is starting of fornix. So in the fornix area, conjunctiva become very thick, and uh, it become folded. So why folded? To allow the eye to move freely. So this is why there is multiple folds are getting created in the fornix area in superior and inferior. So fornix is having four part: superior part of fornix, inferior part of fornix, nasal part of fornix and temporal part of fornix. Okay. So in the joining of the fornix, in the lower eyelid, there is a palpebral and bulbar conjunctiva. So there is the formation of conjunctival sac. So it is here the posterior part of the lid and anterior part of the globe forms a sac which open at the palpebral fissure. So this conjunctival sac can contain 7 microliter of uh, tear fluid, and it is having the capacity to accommodate fluid about 30 microliter. Okay. Now if I tell about the bulbar conjunctiva, then after this is the palpebral conjunctiva, this is fornix, and this is the starting of bulbar conjunctiva. So this bulbar conjunctiva is actually covering the sclera, and it is very transparent that we can see the underlying blood vessel through this bulbar conjunctiva. So this bulbar conjunctiva is actually loosely attached way over the sclera, but at about 3 millimeter distance from the limbus, it is very tightly attached. That is, so in bulbar conjunctiva there is two part: scleral conjunctiva, limbal conjunctiva. So scleral conjunctiva is loosely attached and limbal conjunctiva is very tightly attached. Okay, and in the limbus area, the conjunctival epithelium and corneal epithelium are the continuation part. Okay, so let's move to the layers of conjunctiva. So conjunctiva is having three layers: epithelium, adenoid layer, and fibrous layer. So epithelium is having three part: goblet cell, melanocyte, Langerhans cell. So epithelium is the outermost layer of the conjunctiva. Here the keratinized squamous epithelium of the epidermis transform into non-keratinized squamous epithelium, and the morphology of this corneal epithelium varies from region to region. So here the morphology means the layer of the cell arrangement. So in the marginal conjunctiva, there is 5 layers of 5 layered non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium are there. In the tarsal conjunctiva, there is 2 layers of stratified cuboidal epithelium are there. In the fornix and bulbar conjunctiva, there is 3 layers of stratified squamous epithelium is there, and in the limbal area, there is 10 layers of stratified squamous epithelium. Okay. So in the limbal area, the cells in the layers are superficial layer, squamous cell, middle are polygonal cell, and basals are like cuboidal cells. Okay. Now if I discuss about the goblet cell, so goblet cell are seen throughout the conjunctiva, lying in between the cells of the conjunctival epithelium, and these goblet cells are actually the responsible for secretion of mucus, that is a component or layer in the tear film. Okay. So what is the function of this mucus? It actually reduces the surface tension of tear film so that it increases the stability. And if I tell how these goblet cells secrete mucus, so actually these goblet cells are sitting in between the cells of conjunctival epithelium, but it actually get enlarged, become larger, and they reach to the conjunctiva, and then they discharge their mucin content, and they finally seed away. Okay. Now if I tell about the melanocyte, so melanocyte, these are actually seen in limbus fornix or plica semilunaris or caruncle area, and sometimes due to this conjunctiva appear as yellowish. And Langerhans cell, so Langerhans cells are actually the immune cells that form the part of the immune system, and it actually these are actually having highest density of Langerhans cell in the tarsal conjunctiva, and then followed by fornix, and then bulbar conjunctiva. Okay. So these Langerhans cells contain rod-shaped, tennis racket-shaped cytoplasmic organelles, that is mostly famous known the term that is brickbat granule. Okay. Now adenoid layer. So adenoid layer is the middle layer of conjunctiva. So it is it is also called as lymphoid layer. Okay. And fibrous layer. So this fibrous layer is the innermost layer of the conjunctiva that is containing the vessels and nerves of conjunctiva, and in this fibrous layer gland of Krauss is also sitting. So these are the different glands that are present in the conjunctiva. This is the gland of Henle, gland of Wolfram, gland of Krauss, lacrimal gland. So gland of Henle and gland of Mans are they secrete mucus, okay, along with goblet cells, and gland of Krauss and Wolfram actually secrete they actually work as an accessory lacrimal gland. So these are the conjunctival gland, that is this is mucin gland. So these cells produce mucus, and accessory glands, that is accessory lacrimal gland, so they produce the aqueous component. So goblet cells, Henle's gland and gland of Mans. So goblet cells, this is Henle's gland and gland of Mans, they produce mucus. There is an innermost layer of tear film that reduce the surface tension of tear to increase the stability. So they produce the mucus, and gland of Krauss and Wolfram act as a accessory lacrimal gland to produce aqueous component, okay, and the lipid component come from the meibomian gland, okay. So that's all friends, thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like my video and subscribe to my channel. I hope this video helped you to understand something more about conjunctival anatomy. So thank you so much, and do share this video to your near ones so that they can also understand more about conjunctiva, okay. Thank you so much.